Well, good afternoon, folks. Admiral Preparedness here. Well, we just got ourselves some gasoline at $1.82.9 tenths of a cent. Who in his right mind came up with a tenth of a cent? What were you thinking? I remember when I was a little kid, when I was at the gas station one time with my dad on a weekend drive, because we used to take weekend drives just to see what was around. And you get to that gas station, that guy would run out of that building, come up to the pump, look at my dad and say in the window, "Fill it up." My dad goes, "Yeah, give me a dollar's worth. Fill it up with $1." And the guy filled the car up. He goes, "Okay, that'd be $2.95. My dad says, "No, my son, I said fill it up with $1." And every time he did that, he said, "I said fill it up with $1." Now, if you didn't hear the buck part, you heard the fill it up part. Yeah, I get that gas for free. Man, you didn't mess with my dad back then because he was a big man. He's a Marine. And he exercised like the devil. And every time he did that, he'd win. He said, "Son," he'd go over and look at me and say, "These dumb son bitches, they charge you 9/10 of a penny. 9/10. So I'm going to get him for everything I can." He only did it about twice, but honest man, he just always laughed at him and always paid. Now remember, he always paid, but he always said, you got to catch yourself on stuff like that. Because if you don't pay attention, you're an idiot. How's everybody doing? I'm doing great. I had some dental work done. We got that process started so I could get my false teeth. Gonna have them yanked out and give me some gums. Get to 63 years old, you're taking care of your teeth all your life. Damn things don't cooperate and they want to come out just because you're old. So remember to go to the dentist, folks. And other than that, we're on the road. We got to run down to our local grocery store to refill our freezer from what we've depleted. It'll be time again soon. Everybody out there doing their holiday shopping, I'll bet from online. There's been an issue going on out in the state of California where the governor there is an idiot and he's locked down half of California. And a lot of these retail establishments are fighting back. They're mad because, well, I agree with them. I mean, if you've been doing everything right and no COVID cases have been traced back to your business, God bless you. The vaccine's on the way. It just got approved yesterday by a bunch of ninny nannies who, some of them said, "No, we got to wait. This has just been rushed." It ain't been rushed, folks. Trust me, it ain't been rushed. Technology don't need 5 years to get something out there to save lives. I hear we had 9,000 some odd people die in one day in these here United States. Now that's a crying shame. You go back and say it could have been prevented. Yes, it could have been prevented only because people doing stupid things and they don't care. So, you got the grandma and uncles killed. That's sad. They call it the boomer broom. That's one of the phrases I've been hearing out there. Hell, let's just get rid of all the old people and we'll save Social Security that way. Yeah, you got to go see yourself a psychologist and have your head examined. That's the way you think. Because these folks, they don't deserve to die like that. I mean, it's terrible. They put you on a ventilator, they put you in a coma, and then you just die. That's wrong. I mean, look, up here in New Hampshire, there was a group of veterans. And those veterans had been in wars. And guess what, folks? They're dying in their retirement homes because of COVID. Could you imagine yourself for, say, 2 years in the dirt, eating dirt, living in the dirt, killing the people who are trying to kill you, and then age, and then die of a virus in your bed? That's just sad. And nobody's there to say goodbye to you. These guys will be forgotten about, and that'll be that. So I anticipate, and I wish you would help, to push Congress to have a National Day of Mourning for COVID deaths. Just like we have War Veterans Day, Memorial Day, and Veterans Day, we ought to have COVID Day. Because this thing could have been prevented. It could have been prevented. The whole thing, the whole shit and shebang. Orange man bad, you guys went and did it. Okay? It's going to come out. It'll come out. You trust me. It'll come out. The CCP planned this thing, and all this is all done for naught. Orange bad, orange man bad. That's going to be the slogan for the next 25 years. But I hope that son of a bitch runs again and wins, because he saved this country. You folks out there to disagree with me, you can disagree all you want, but I lived it. I saw it. I benefit from it. When I did my taxes last year, and I had $24,000 wiped off the top of family income on the get-go. That's $24,000 wiped out. Just nope, you didn't make it, which brought our taxes down. We were actually put down into a lower tax bracket, so we saved money there too. Uncle Sam don't need to be taking your money, folks. The income tax is a theft. It's a legal way to steal money from you. Only because the government had no other way to get that money. Oh, no, they got other revenue streams. Oh my God, come on. Liquor tax, cigarette tax, luxury tax. They'll tax the shit out of you if you let them. That's your fault. You people let it happen. Out in California, I carried a book around for a year, a little notebook. Every time I paid a tax. I don't care what kind of tax it was, I recorded it. On January 31st of that same year, I sat down with my calculator. I had $15,000 taken out of my income for taxes. Just for taxes. And that includes sales tax, that includes mortgage, that includes rent, whatever. Any kind of tax I had taken. 15 grand. That's money I could have used to save for college or retirement or whatever I want to do, because it was my money. Uncle Sam just figures, hey man, your wallet's theirs. And you people let it happen. I'm letting it happen. We're victims of it. And so there's got to be a way to revolt. Now, I revolt by just not consuming. Or I consume, or I move to a location where my money gets to stay in my pocket a skosh bit longer. I don't know where you fine folks live. I hope you live in a tax-friendly state. Take Illinois. I'll give you an example of what's wrong with this country. Every county in Illinois has a different tax rate. Every county in Illinois. So if you buy gasoline in one county for 10 cents a tax, you may go to another county and find 8 cents a tax on gasoline or electricity or whatever commodity that they can tax. The word tax goes back all the way before God knew that Jesus was going to be sent to him to save the human race. Taxes. You gotta give me some of your stuff. Why? Well, I made that road and you benefit from it. Alright? Now, public education. That's an oxymoron. Educate the public. Have you seen what's coming out of schools these days? Who was the first man to walk on the moon? Lance Armstrong. What? Who was the first president of the United States? Benjamin Franklin. What? Why does our monetary system based on the fiat currency and not gold? Well, every currency that I've known since I was a little bitty wee tadpole in the pool knew that gold is how you backed your money. No, we don't do that. We let it float. We let it float on an economy. And then we trade that fiat currency for other stuff. And then we ask other countries, by the way, won't you use the dollar to trade too, because it's strong. And enter China. Now, anybody who knew that we need to go back on the gold standard can look at China and say, uh-oh, they're now part of the WTO, the World Trade Organization. They want to kick the dollar off of the reserve currency. If they kick the dollar and get everybody to start using the yuan, the Chinese currency, to buy stuff, we're in a serious problem, because the dollar value will cease to exist if the Chinese get their way and get the dollar taken off as a world currency. It's coming. I've been seeing it coming for the last 25 years. I'll tell you why, because here's what happens. Here's how you overtake a country without a shot being fired. You the country that you're coming into allows you to have pregnant women come into your country, give birth to those kids, and then they become American citizens or instant citizens of that nation. What are you people thinking? So now the kid goes back to China and gets brainwashed. Now remember, they're American citizens, they have the dual citizenship. Then you bring them back as brainwashed adults and enter them into our society. And you do it everywhere: banking, commerce, industry, education, and government. Now this Jerry Swalwell guy, we need to sit down and have a little conversation. If that was me and I was a Navy veteran or a Navy sailor, I'd be behind bars. They would throw away the key. There's no if at the yep, you was a cohort with a spy. Have a nice day. Here's your cell for life. And this guy's gonna get walking pass. This son of a gun is gonna get a walking pass. I don't think it's right. I think this guy needs to be taken off the intelligence committee and sweet tooth fast. Security clearance, whatever the heck he think he's got, revoked. And he's made to resign. Made to resign, folks. This was going on since 2015, and we're just now hearing about it. He was in love with a Chinese plant, a Chinese spy. Who knows what this girl had gleaned from all these politicians? I mean, you think about James Bond, oh my God. And now, oh yeah, another interesting thing in the news, Biden's little boy, ding dong dingling, drug doer, now he's been under investigation. Now it becomes public. Of course, the media now covers it. He's a tax fraud, tax evader. Now they've been investigating since 2018. And guess who was doing it? The FBI. That clown that's up there now who replaced Comey. I don't trust that guy. I never did. I never liked him. He just appeared to me to be another one of these sneaky wannabe politicians that's not a politician, that got into office by the grace of God and some other reason. And Trump, he fell into it. He fell into his spell. Now the FBI is up there shenanigans again. Barr can't do a lot. He's pretty much he got pigeonholed as one of Trump's cronies, and he's done. And so with this president-elect, I'm sorry, folks. I call him Mr. Rogers, Uncle Sleepy Joe, because when he talks down on us like we're children. Well, folks, and he does it in that Uncle Joe or Mr. Rogers voice. If we just unite, son, you screwed this country for 47 years. You put a whole lot of people behind bars that didn't need to be put behind bars, ruined their lives or families. Thousands and thousands of people went to prison because you wrote the judicial laws and got them passed through Congress. And now they're undoing them all. So now Pelosi is sitting there twiddling her thumbs, admitting that she held back any stimulus because of COVID, because of politics. Well, we all knew it. You know, like a nose on your face. You got to understand it. That's what they're doing. Mitch McConnell's like, no, we're not going to add more to the debt. We'll let the economy float. These folks will figure out a way to survive. Yada, yada, yada. Okay? Folks, I'm here to say I'm not being affected by it directly, because we're getting money streams from every source we know how to make, either through YouTube. I thank you, YouTube. My own personal sales I do on Craigslist. None of these things will be brought to light of day because Uncle Love Me wants to figure out a way to tax it, and he can't tax barter. He can't tax yard sales. He can't. Well, trying to tax yard sales, but they make them quite difficult now. During the days of COVID, you can still have yard sales. You just got to social distance and all that neat stuff. Get downsizing. You know, don't take pennies on a dollar. Take dollars on a dollar. If you got something somebody wants, you stand there and haggle it out. just like everybody else in the world. I've been to foreign countries where it's custom to haggle. That's what you do. You go there, you say, I like that shirt, how much do you want? And they give a number, and then you give another number, and you have fun doing it. They'll give you coffee and soda, and they'll keep you there as long as they can to get some more money out of your pocket. And that's how that's done. We used to haggle years ago. Then we got into this retail establishment, and prices are final, blah, 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 blah. These people don't have time to ask how long a cheeseburger costs, because it's just it's set in stone, and you live by that. If you've been watching my channel, you've been noticing that I stay out of politics because it's not my forte. I'm not educated too much on the knowledge of politics, because I really don't care. I mean, there's a candidate I like. That's why I'm an independent. I like the candidate. I'll back him or her or them. And this time I got behind a horse that was he was there. All right. Now this other guy who rode on the coattails of another guy, and now he's bringing in his other guy's people. You might as well just have another administration. Call that the Barry Sartoro administration, because it's gonna be status quo and back to normal. Washington business back to normal. You don't have Orange Man there to shake it up because he's not a politician. Now you got politicians talking to politicians. And I gotta tell you folks, term limits. We gotta have term limits. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Dianne Feinstein, she's losing it. Nancy Pelosi, she's losing it. Chuck Schumer, he's lost it. He's been checked out for decades. You got some of these that Weasel who was on the committee to impeach Trump, that roly-poly guy, whatever his name was. He shit his pants on TV and looked like a little weeble wobble trying to get out of a damn news conference after realizing what he had done. It's just too funny to watch these politicians. And folks, I don't care, just like AOC. She put out these marketing merchandise or merch, political merch that everybody's talking about, a $60 sweater. What? So they is a socialist. And she's jumping on the capitalist bandwagon because she needs money, because she's not corrupt enough to get into special committees and all these bankers who back all these politicians. The minute Soros passes away and Bloomberg passes away and all these other highfalutin rich sons of guns, that New World Order starts to collapse. You've got old money trying to get this planet all under one flag. The only way you're going to get anything under one flag is get off the planet and go to Mars. Now there's a discussion, who owns the moon? Who owns Mars? Well, folks, honest, if you're the first one there, you own it. And until something can come knock that flag down and pick up theirs and stick it there, they'll own the planet. But for now, I used to be the president of the moon, as a joke. I was the president of the moon. I went out there and started a website, presidentofthemoon.org, and I became president of the moon. I sold pencils, notebooks, I sold paraphernalia, president of the moon. And nobody could say I wasn't. I wasn't going to get a trademark or nothing like that, only because you can't. The president of the moon is not trademarkable yet. But then some guy came along and said, well, he's president of the dark side of the moon. And that, I said, okay, fine, you can be the president of the dark side of the moon, but I'm president of the moon. So then I went, well, I tell you what, I can be satellite presidents. So I thought, well, why not the satellites of Jupiter? There's a bunch of those. You know, how about I'm the president of an asteroid? You know, you just start thinking about this stuff. If you can put a picture of a person on a roll of toilet paper and make a fortune, I can be the president of something, and what the heck. As long as people buy your merch, you're all good. We're almost at our destination here. I don't even know if this camera's still recording, so I'm just going to keep talking until I get to where I got to go. We're going to try these different means of getting our communication out to you fine folks. Our subscriber rate is ticked up. We had a little bit of a hitch and get along there while I was getting better from this illness that I was suffering, not COVID related. Live better by chemicals, folks. Pharmaceuticals are a lifesaver. That's my plug for right now. And live the way you want to live, not by the way somebody tells you to live. America is the land of the free, home of the brave, and here in New Hampshire it's live free or die. I'm going to start questioning that because of the way this state. I was doing some research when I first moved here on your homeowner ability. You can own a home, you're homesteaded automatically up to the value of $150,000, so nobody can take your home and kick you off for debt. Luckily, that got kicked in when my business was affected, and now we're living under that. Getting it removed, I don't care. It's a homestead. It's our home forever. And when I pass, it'll get willed to my children, and it'll be their responsibility to keep the taxes up. But here in this state, after age 79, you no longer pay property taxes if you own your home. So if you're in your home and you don't pay taxes anymore on that property, here's what you don't know. Those taxes stay in being due. They just keep adding up. So for every year you live in your home and you don't pay property tax, that goes towards the minus of the value of your home. So let's say you live in your home and you die. Well, all those back taxes now get put on the value of the home, folks. So there's no free ride. That's here in New Hampshire. The other one is, if in times of dire needs, the state, that's the local authorities, state, city, can come into your home and take whatever they want without any monetary value, like gold or silver. They just take it and say, here's a letter. We've absconded with. Now, remember, the 4th and 5th Amendments, I believe, protect citizens from this from happening. They're not allowed to put military in your home. They're not allowed to birth them, and they're not allowed to do that. Now, taking your stuff for the benefit of others is still theft. I don't care what you call it. A duck is a duck. It quacks like a duck, walks like a duck. It's a frickin' duck. So that's one of those sad situations you got to put yourself in when you realize that no, that's not right. Okay, folks. Well, we're here at our local Walmart in COVID, so we're going to see if this thing recorded or not. And remember, folks, it can happen from the north, it can happen from the south, it can happen from the east, or coming from the west. Always be prepared, and if you've enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification bell, or I'll be out there waiting for you to come to me. Admiral Preparedness, God bless you all.